Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. This is gonna be a completely different premise. This is not gonna be focused around game shows, but of course I do a little bit of gaming here and there, and I've been interested in this game called JudgeSim for a while. So I contacted the developers and they gave me a key for it. So special thanks to the developers for giving me this key, but I have been playing this a little bit off camera to do the cases that I've already seen, because I've already seen videos off of this, so that I can already do like fresh cases that I don't have a mind about. So as the game goes through, I will explain what's happening, but again, special thanks to the developers for getting me a key to this game, and let's get started. Okay, so, in this game, you are, in the Banana Republic court. This is your family. And what we are trying to do is make money for the family, and the family will try and make counter offers eventually to, give, a certain amount of money away from me. So from playing off camera, I have got $100 so far. That's because of some events that have happened recently in the game. So I really like this music here too. This is just relaxing. But I'm into week 7. Again, these are brand new cases that I have not seen, so we will have a fresh mind into this, and let's do this. So this is case 2. So, oh dear. Okay, I'll explain why I said oh dear in just a second. First, there is no sort of evidence, which is a little bit difficult, but again, the case file here has the details of the case, and maybe some statements. Let's see what we have some statements from the plaintiff and the defendant. So in these types of cases, you would, there are just individual cases to try and please someone not guilty or guilty, but as you can see, there are other ways of doing things. There is a plaintiff and defendant in this case. Now, before I go anywhere else, may I please mention these top 2 bars at the right. They are all pretty significant in the world of this game. So, I have a very high possibility of being assassinated. There are 2 possible outcomes in this game, and that is if your dice doesn't roll to 12. Sometimes you could either get assassinated or arrested. So, and then you would just restart from the case you already done, try and redo it, and try and get a better outcome. So, that's what we're gonna do here. Alright, so what have we got today? Oh, and may I mention the bailiff, which is not really a bailiff. Whoever just coughed, stop coughing in my courtroom. But anyway, what the bailiff does is you can offer a special guard, which basically just deducts money, or you can offer a bribe, which lowers the arrest bar by 25%. But you can't do a bribe or anything if you don't have enough money. So let's continue on with this case. Okay, so as I said before, this is a plaintiff and defendant's case. Let's see what this case file is on. So, case subject, the plaintiff is filing a compensation lawsuit against Robin Hudson, who caused Henry William to have a traffic accident. So in these types of claims, in these types of claims, you don't get, like, because may I mention for other cases that may continue, well, no, there isn't a law book here, but there is usually a law book in just individual cases to try and decide. I'll explain that once it comes around, but in this case, there is specific decisions that are already pre-made that you can make from the list. So let's read through. Again, we have... Get that woman out of my courtroom, please. Okay. So this case, again, is regarding a traffic accident, so... That is weird. It shows the law book, but then it goes away. Anyway, so it says in the details, Henry William was allegedly pushed into the barriers by Robin Hudson while he was riding his motorcycle in traffic, causing him to have an accident. After the accident, Henry William remained in a coma for 42 days. Henry William demands $250,000, also $250,000 from Robin Hudson as material and moral compensation. I would also guess like maybe some mental compensation, but that doesn't say it in the details. But if I was this person, I would put it in for mental compensation as well, for the pain that he has experienced. Now, may I please mention there is digital evidence in this case, so we'll finish reading the statements and everything, and then we'll go over to the digital evidence. But here's a statement from Henry William. He states, "I was driving in my motorcycle in traffic. I wanted to overtake the vehicle in front of me. She started to approach me while I was overtaking her. I got stuck in the barrier and suddenly lost the balance of the motorcycle and rolled over. The only thing that I remember afterwards was that I was in a great amount of pain. I think she did this on purpose because she didn't stop and help after she caused this." Well, that might take advantage in the video evidence, but we don't know that just yet. So let's continue on to the next statement. This is from Robin Hudson. She states, "I was driving in my own lane in traffic. I was very stressed because I found out that my mother was hospitalized, and I was trying to get to the hospital as soon as possible. My mother has cancer, and her condition is serious. I didn't notice what was happening during the accident. The motorcycle must have been in my blind spot. I later learned that I was being taken to court. If I had noticed the accident, I would definitely have stopped and helped. I did not violate my traffic rules. I don't think it's my fault." Now, from what I know in these types of cases, in MVAs, motor vehicle accidents, you are required to exchange insurance policies and numbers. So, by the fact that she didn't do that at this point leads me to believe that I rule in the plaintiff's favor for now. Of course, we haven't done all of the things yet to figure that out. So let's take a look at the digital evidence. So this is the iPad. This has the digital evidence, some applications just for inside the game, and then speaking records, which we'll get to in a moment. But there is one digital evidence, and that is camera records. So really, what I'm getting from this isn't really showing much. This isn't showing really the impact. This is just showing like a millisecond before it happened. So this, in my opinion, in the effects of this case, this is not really helpful evidence because it doesn't show the impact and if they sustained injuries. So that is going to be put into record in my ruling here. assume. But now we have the chance to talk to them from this microphone, so let's do that. So I say, Mr. William, you realize that you were violating the lane of the car in front of you, right? Now, if we look at the digital evidence, again, if we looked at the camera records, he was not supposed to merge that close to the car. I mean, I do understand. He was not supposed to merge that close to the car. So, that is a reasonable question to ask. So, let's get his answer. He says, Your Honor, I even honked my horn before she overtook. There's no way she didn't see me. What upsets me is that she could have killed me, but she chose to flee at the time of the incident. Now, again, the CCTV records and traffic cameras did not show the impact of the incident, so on that regard, I can't take anything for that. So, in that regard, let's continue asking questions. So, Miss Hudson, it's highly unlikely that you did notice the motorcyclist in your left rearview mirror at the time of the incident. Now, it's interesting that I keep rearing back to the digitals, but I can't. So, with normal vision sights, the left rear view mirror would be about it would be right in this area in the middle of the car if you zoomed in, and we don't have the opportunity to zoom in, but just from this diagram, the rear view mirrors would have been here. He was here. She was here, excuse me. But, so she could have seen him in the rear view mirror because that is close enough to render that it was a smarter decision to make. Let's see what her response is. So didn't you at least hear a sound? Let's see what she says. Your Honor, at that moment, I was totally thinking about my mother. I was in the left lane, so I didn't need to look in the left mirror. And I didn't hear the sounds because the windows were closed. Alright. Now, especially in also car accident cases, you have to assume any risk that is on the road, so that would be, and monitoring it safely as well. So, you eventually have to look in your mirrors at some point. Now, may I mention that there are 3 types of mirrors that are on a normal car. One that is in the middle of the inside of the car, which is the rear view mirrors. And then there's 2 on the outside of the car, one left, one right, that can also support you in those types of incidents. But she failed to do that. So, I'm ready to render my decision. Let's see what we've got here. So we've got grant Henry Williams' request for $250,000 in compensation, or deny Henry Williams' claim. Now, because the defendant was not assuming the risk or doing it in a safe manner, my ruling is to grant Henry Williams' request. That is my final verdict. So, if the sum of 2 dice is 12, we will fail. Okay, so in this case, we did not fail. So it was all success. We get to go back home to our families. It seems like our family does not have any incidents to take care with us, so we're gonna move on to our next case. Now, from people in, I follow a Discord server in this, from people in the communicating that I have communicated with, they say that this is the hardest case to actually survive on, which would be they would either be assassinated or arrested. So let's see what we've got here to start off with. So this is an individual case. So we would have to use the evidence, the case file, and the law book. May I explain what the law book is? Now we have 5 elements here before we, that I must adjourn on. So, in the first matter, the criminals must be given the sum of their sentences of the crimes listed in the charges section. So let's say if they were accused of a physical assault crime, a beating would be sentenced to 2 years jail, and then 4 years jail. Another thing is that if they do have a criminal record, you can see that there's an aggravated sentence here. That's what we would give them. Now, there are 12 different sections. Homicide crimes, theft crimes, verbal assault, crimes of instigation, physical assault, public prosecution offenses, sexual assault, financials, smuggling and illegal trade, and organized crimes, crimes against the state, and cyber crimes. Traffic crimes as well. And ending with narcotic crimes. So there are 12 sections that we must follow. So let's take a look at the case file here. So he does not have a criminal record. He has a positive mental health test, which means if he had a negative mental health test, I would need to send him for treatment without pay or without a sentence. Now, also nationality, I would have to have him deported to his own country along with the sentence afterwards. Now, because I must warn some people, if these details of some of these cases are a little bit too suggestive or vague for you, then I'd suggest you click off this video, because some of the cases in here can get very intense. Again, the game does give me the right to execute on individual cases, meaning if somebody committed terrorism or anything against the world or the state or itself, I have to execute. I have to execute people. So yeah, that's a death sentence. So again, if these cases do get too rowdy, again, I will either have someone put timestamps or I'd recommend, if the continuing cases are too vague or too suggestive for you, I suggest you click off. Again, we will do about a week's worth of cases in one video, and we'll do a week's worth or more here, since this is our first time. So, according to this, Nathan Lake, age is 57, male, a 57-year-old male. He was charged with involuntary manslaughter. So in the details it says, not even gonna try to pronounce that name, but the person named, which is that, whatever that is, took his baby, who was having difficulty breathing, to the hospital. After the MRI, it was seen that there was a metal object in the baby's stomach. Nathan Lake, the baby's doctor, said that the object should be removed surgically. The surgery was performed with the family's approval, and Nathan Lake stated to the family that the surgery went well. The baby experienced breathing difficulties sometime after he was discharged and died less than 24 hours afterward. As a result of the autopsy, a gauze that was forgotten during the surgery was found in the baby's stomach. More details. The autopsy report confirmed that the baby died as a result of the forgotten cause. Thereupon, the baby's father filed a complaint against Dr. Nathan Lake. Now, I would have preferred that this would be a plaintiff and defendant case, so I would see their both sides. But again, this makes things a little tougher on me because in these types of cases, I have to follow my law book. I have to take a look at each part of the evidence. I sometimes have to speak to them. I don't always have to speak to them if I feel like the evidence already gives enough information, but I can if I need to. So the evidence, of course, was the gauze left in the stomach and revealed as a result of the autopsy. Now, this would make sense that this would possibly be his dying cause, because if you're getting a thing that is supposed to suck up like the pathogens that caused this issue after the surgery, then you don't really want to go too far with it. In this case, what I believe is that the gauze sucked up too much of his blood, leading him to bleed out and also die because of things like low blood pressure or
He just had something left in him.
yeah, or they just had something left in him, which included a bunch of blood, which could have been an issue. Okay. Now, there is no digital evidence for this case, so we have to speak to him. First of all, I see that you have taken responsibility for the mistake. Could you briefly explain the situation? Before the surgery, I had an argument with my wife. We are in the process of divorcing. I thought I mustn't do this surgery, but there was no other doctor in the hospital. Now, again, in some of these cases, if I do feel like they do need some sort of mental health treatment or need to seek counseling, I can also add that in there as well. So, found out that only I could do the surgery. It went well, but I didn't realize that I left the cause in the baby's stomach. I desperately hope that the family will forgive me. Okay. Now we are done with this. Now, in this case, I would have to give him the minimum, which is 4 years jail. Now, if the details described the amount of the cost of the surgery, I would have put that in as a fine as well, to just bring back to the family and do a little bit of compensation. But I do have to give him the sentence that listed here, so you will get 4 years jail. So 4 years of jail time. That is my final verdict. Okay, what did I earn this week? I earned $1,400. That's good. That's pretty good. Oh my god. He actually just succeeded in that. Beat the negative 3 reflected in the balance from the wallet. Okay. So I'll just withdraw the money that I have. Insufficient. So I have nothing. Nothing at all. Okay. So, we will continue this on the next episode that I will have here. Again, thank you to the developers for giving me access to this game. And I thoroughly enjoy it, so we'll see y'all next time, and have a great day.